Properties. Device. Fine. Let's see, now you can hear me. I think that might be it. I think we might have fixed it. Let me know if we fixed it. That'd be tremendous if we have. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I think we're there. I think we're there, guys. Are we fixed? I think we might be fixed. How's it going? Probably better now that you can hear me. I would assume. I'm going to drink some more coffee while you let me know that you can hear me. Well, I seem to have frozen on there, but maybe that was just me looking at stuff before. You can hear me loud and clear. Yes. Is a win. I like it. I like you. Pretty nice. Oh, we have thumbs up coming up in OBS. This is great. I wonder if I could even see comments in there at some point. One day. Who knows? Cool. Hello, everyone. Sorry about that. I didn't realise that was going to be a bit of a pain. Sounds like my washing machine has just exploded in the next room, which is unfortunate. Nothing I can do about that at this point. So, might as well, ignore it and hope things get better before I go out there after this stream. How are we all? What is exciting? What's going on in the world of Apple? Have I missed anything? You can hear me, but it's a little bit quiet. I can turn that up. Don't you worry. I can fix that a little bit. Is that better? Is that better? It looks like we're way into the yellow there, so hopefully that's better. Yeah. How's everyone going? How's your Apple week gone? I know it's been a bit of a weird one. We have had a bit of controversy in what's been going on in the world of tech this week with the latest tech tip stuff and the Madison stuff and all of those other bits. So I'm just going to move this a little bit so you can see me. Oh, you can see the light in the background then. Seeing how the sausage is made, my guys. I've turned it up as much as I can, Daisy. I'm hoping that's better. Yeah, it's been a week. It's been a week, hasn't it? Yeah. What's going on? Let me know where you're watching from. That's always a good start, isn't it? We've had all of the Linus stuff going on this week. We've had a little bit more kind of clues about what's going on with M3 chips. We can talk about that if you'd like. We've heard a little bit about... what have we heard about other than that? iPhone stuff, I guess. I get bored by iPhone stuff. I don't know about you guys, but it's just one of those things that everyone talks about, and I don't know. Apple's still having a better week than LTT. Yes, absolutely. 100% better than LTT. Oh, can you imagine how awful it is in their offices at the moment? So as I say, I'm not one for the drama, although I guess maybe 2% of the comments that came through after that video were like, yeah, but, you say you don't do drama, but you're talking about drama. I'm like, yeah, I know. What I'm saying is I don't normally talk about it. So, yeah, we had all the stuff with LTT going on. It's been very exciting. Michael Moyers just jumped in saying very volatile week in the financial markets, mainly triggered by China real estate company bonds. Well, let's get into the real estate China company bond stuff, because that is, as you all know, my favourite topic on these things. Oh, iPhone Batterygate thing. Other than that, all relatively quiet. Are we talking about the original Batterygate where they've had to pay out for replacement of batteries, or are we talking about the new kind of everyone's iPhone Pros have crappy battery percentages? Let me know, which one is it that you're talking about, because mine is actually not great. Mine is like in the 89, 88, 89, something like that percentage of battery health. And it is the 14 Pro, so it shouldn't be that bad. The difference that I've had this year is I've put a case on it. I don't know if that makes any difference, but it does seem like everyone's having these issues with their phones at the moment, so it might not be me. I've certainly been out and about a little bit more than I have been the previous couple of years, and I think when I was using my previous phone, I was plugged in a little bit more often because I was working in a specific place as opposed to kind of out and about. So there's something there perhaps, but as it doesn't seem to just be me, I think this might actually be a phone thing and not a my lifestyle has changed slightly thing. But let me know, what's your battery health looking like if you've got a 14 generation iPhone? I believe, Michael, it's just the 14s that have got this issue. I think the 13s are about the same on battery health, but they've been around for a year longer. So that's strange. Thomas, nice to see you, my friend. Good late evening. Yes, it is a bit late, isn't it? It's probably 11 where you are, I would guess, if you're in Germany. So yeah, sorry if it's a bit late night for you. If it's past your bedtime. Sandra is here as well, Sandra Hugeland, who we have only really heard from when I did that big drama video this week, and I was just like, oh, you're still here. You still remember me. So that's good. What else have we got? Jeff Crumpley, I'm hoping AirPods Max 2 with USB-C at the September event. I'm expecting a new AirPods Pro 2 USB-C charging case. Yeah, I think the USB-C charging case is coming for the AirPods Pro 2, but it is just going to be a case update. I don't think there's going to be anything else. And also, if you're charging them on a USB-C or a Lightning cable, you're probably doing it wrong, because they've got that MagSafe Mini charging on them, which is good. What I would say is my... look, this is not good, is it? Like, there's only one AirPod in here. And I wore them both when I went to the shops earlier, and I got into the car and I was wearing both, and I came into the house and pulled these out of my pocket, and there was only one in there. So it might be in the car, it might be somewhere else, I'm not sure, but that's a little upsetting. That might be something I have to replace with Pros? I don't know. I've got the 3rd gen right now. I don't know if I could do with the Pros with the silicon tips. I'm not going to lie. What have we got? So Ryan is saying my iPhone is 84%, but still don't notice a large decrease in life on my 13 Pro Max. Okay, 84% I think is pretty fair for a 2-year-old phone. But on a 1-year-old phone, if they're getting pretty close to that, that seems a bit much. Ryan is saying iPhone is 84%. Oh, sorry. No, it was Ryan I just said. No, ignore me. Ron is saying iPhone 12 is several years old and at 86% battery. That's an iPhone 12. So I've got an iPhone 12 as well for work, and it seems fine. Yeah, we'll see. Michael Moy is saying, yes, it does seem to mainly be around the iPhone 14 Pro. That's right. Although the Pro Max seems to also be having some issues, Thomas, and I think that's using a different component, at least for the battery itself. So I assume it's not like a manufacturing issue with that particular component. Michael is saying, I had that happen and used it to find my earbuds and it worked right. Yeah, I've tried Find My and it's not working, which is annoying. It's quite annoying. Hey folks, it's Evan Rogers. He's here live and everything like last week. Thank you very much for coming, Evan. Appreciate you being here. Sandra is saying the thing is, I don't think it's just drama. The community doesn't seem to show the levels of inaccuracy. And such do not go unnoticed, will be pointed out and reflect badly on everyone. So yeah, let's go into the Linus Tech Tips thing because we're here anyway. So Linus Tech Tips, if you haven't seen what's been going on this week, I'm proud of you because you don't watch tech videos on YouTube. But I think most people probably know there was a bit of beef between Gamers Nexus and Linus Tech Tips, where Gamers Nexus called them out for some inaccuracy on their videos in their testing, and I see Linus Tech Tips as being kind of the top gear of tech videos. So it's kind of like, it's videos about tech, but it's more about entertaining you while talking about tech than it is actually like informing you that much. And I get that, but when you go and put graphs on your screen, then you're going to have to kind of back up your graphs. That's kind of how it works. That's fair, right? Especially when you keep calling out Apple for having inaccurate graphs on their events. I feel like, pot, kettle, black, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it seems to be a bit of an issue. And then all of this happened, and then Linus got back to Gamers Nexus by posting on his own forum the worst response I think of all time, and then the next day Gamers Nexus went, that's a crap response, and about 2 a.m. in Canada time, Madison, who used to work there, Swoop on Twitter /X, whatever it's called this week, she posted a bunch of allegations about how awful it was to work there and a bit of sexual harassment and stuff like that. And so I made a video about it because I happened to be up just as that was going on, because 2 a.m. in Canada happens to be like breakfast time here. So I made a little video and it got it got loads of views, like 85,000, which is a lot for my channel. And a bunch of people jumped into the comments saying, "Why do you believe her? Why do you believe her?" And I sort of went, because she's probably not lying, because that's not really what happens. And then a bunch of her ex-colleagues came out to support what she said, and basically said, yeah, this is what we were hearing at the time while we worked there. Yeah, so almost certainly true. LTT has appointed an investigator to check up on what's been going on, external investigator, so there will be some proper, like, third-party investigation into it. Fingers crossed they get to the bottom of it, which would be really good. Yeah, it's a bit of a crap show, and they've stopped producing videos for a week, which is why you haven't seen much from LTT this week, other than their really crap apology video, which involved pretending they were going to have a sponsor and then shouting out their own merch store. Not the best apology, I'm not going to lie. Right, back to the actual comments. Let's see what we have. Let's see. So we've had a few people talking about their... Thomas Rabenstein, my 14 Pro is at 100%, but it's only a week old. Thomas, why have you bought one this week? There's a 15 coming out in a couple of weeks. That's a rookie error, unless you got an incredible deal on it. And then Jeff is saying, I have a 14 Pro Max with 100% battery health, use the Lightning, no MagSafe exclusively, and try not to charge over 80%. I mean, that is going to do it, but, you know, why? Here's my question, right? If the issue is the battery health may drop to like 80% of full charge if you charge it fully, but you never charge it more than 80%, then you're not taking advantage of the fact that it had 100% of its battery health in the first place. Does it make any difference if you keep it like that? I mean, yeah, you might get a better resale on it, but also, like, I haven't really noticed any material difference in mine being at 89 or 88% versus when it was brand new. But then I also use it in a very random style, so maybe that's some of it. I don't know. Michael Moy, accurate description of the LTT from when I used to watch it. Yep, I think that makes sense. My issue with LTT began with his framework investment and his refusal to recuse from laptop reviews. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, he always kind of calls out the fact that he's got this investment in Framework laptops. Framework, if you don't know already, is a laptop maker that kind of makes these modular laptops for lack of a better term. They are designed to be upgraded, so the CPU is socketed, I guess everything else is socketed as much as it can be, like the individual ports on it have got like sockets into the main board, so you can replace that, you can replace the display, all that sort of stuff. The idea is that you can kind of modularly upgrade this thing over time, but it also makes it a less sleek, less usable, less good laptop, I guess. They couldn't do it in the style that Apple does, so it's just what you have, I guess. That's like, if you want to make that trade-off and you want to be able to upgrade it, then sure, but most, like, I'm going to guess here, but I would say at least 90% of people that own a PC or a Mac would never consider increasing the storage on it, increasing the RAM on it. We are obviously the exceptions here because this is what we talk about. We sit here and talk about tech. Most people don't. Like, most people aren't buying a fridge and going, how can I make this a bit colder? Like, can I put some more ice in it? Can I make the freezer compartment bigger? People don't do that. People buy an appliance to do a job, which is what a computer is to most people, and you know, that's what they do. They don't look to upgrade it. They look to use it until it's not useful anymore, and then they replace it. That's it. Thomas has said, yes, I have a very good deal on my new iPhone from the mobile company. Very good. You know, fine. It's going to be a grand phone for a good while. It's really great on the cameras. I mean, we're using it right now. It's fine. You know, it's not going to cause you any problems. Joe, I'm going to miss MAC address. If the whole empire is going to crumble, at least Jonathan backs up his graphs. Jonathan does, but he still gets, like, randomly easy facts wrong. Like pricing. Like the starting price of MacBook Pros, I was watching it and I was like, I think I watched a short and I found like 4 basic factual errors in it, and it's probably not Jonathan's fault. It's probably the editors and like the whole system that they have. But if they've got like 4 or 5 errors in a 1 minute short, in terms of like, this is not what it costs, this is not the name of the chip in it, this is not how fast it is, this is not the number of cores, that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know how wrong they are about PC components, but I'm guessing it's similar. But I just wouldn't notice it. And I find the same when I watch like TV news. If there's TV news about an Apple event or about a new product that's being launched or something along those lines, I will pick up on every fact that's wrong in my head, and I'll be like, oh, why have they got that wrong? Why have they got that? Why have they got that wrong? And I can only assume that for every subject, the experts in those subjects are going, oh, why have they said that? That's not true. That's not right. Oh, they've misinterpreted this. Like, it's so weird that the press is so slapdash with stuff, I guess. BBC, I'm here to help if that's what you'd like. But yeah, there we go. Thomas is saying Apple TV announced a movie series, like a Godzilla-like monster series with special content for Apple Vision. There's also new rumours spreading about Apple buying Disney. Well, I've been talking about Apple buying Disney for the last couple of weeks at least, and Mike from Apple Insider, every time anyone mentions Apple buying Disney, is immediately like pasting in a link to an article he wrote a while ago saying that they will never buy Disney in his lifetime. Disney will never sell. But guys, the industry's changed. The stuff that I've seen today was about Disney buying potentially ESPN, but I don't see Disney buying just ESPN. I do see that Disney is trying to sell off its like linear TV division, so like ABC, Disney XD, and whatever the other one was that they've got. But they've got like a handful of channels that they own, and it looks like if they can offload those, then Apple might take the rest of it on, including theme parks, which would be really interesting to see what Disney owned Apple, what Disney theme parks would be like with Apple ownership. I also feel like Imagineering, which is Disney's kind of ride engineering and theme park specialist company, would be really interesting to add to Apple's team for new products and things like self-driving cars. Disney's Imagineers have created so many technologies in the past that that would be very, very interesting to see. Sandra is saying my 14 Pro Max is at 96%, by the way. I don't really think it's a representative of anything, as I don't use my screen. Yeah, so I'm guessing, Sandra, it's very similar to when we had when I met Andre, who did the Mac Madness music that we use at the beginning of a lot of the episodes now, with the chimes and stuff going on. So he's very partially sighted. I guess partially sighted. He's, I think, legally blind in the UK. Like, he is like, when I met him at the Apple Store opening, he was just like swiping all over the display, and nothing's visible on there. His son was with him as well, but like the way that he was operating his iPhone was like mind blowing to me. He'd got like I think it was a Braille screen protector on there, which got some like tactile points, so he knew where to swipe from and things like that. It was unbelievable the way that he was able to use the iPhone even without being able to see what was on the screen, because the screen was off. And then as soon as he offered it over to me, because I couldn't quite get my head around what he was asking me, like, he just typed stuff onto the screen without me knowing, and as soon as he pointed it at me, the screen came on. It was exciting. Yeah. My Little Pimo has said, honestly, don't have a huge issue with his framework investment. He heavily disclosed it. Yeah, again, I would agree. I think most of his laptop review stuff has been written by other members of the team, and he does keep it very clear that that's what's going on, that he has got this investment. But at the same time, there's always going to be, like, anytime you have sponsors on a channel, you're always going to have some kind of goodwill towards them, I guess. Like, you're never going to be as objective potentially as you had been before. Like, if Apple sent me stuff that I got to keep, then I would probably be more favourable towards Apple. I don't know. I wouldn't intentionally do it. I wouldn't be like, oh, I definitely want to get the next round. But you get goodwill towards people that help you. So, like, I don't know. If I hadn't had that first super chat from John Prosser, and then we hadn't had John Prosser on the show with us, would I have been as positive about the videos that he makes? I don't know. I think he's a really cool guy, but I wouldn't have known that if he hadn't. Do you know what I mean? Like, nobody is completely unbiased about anything. But I think as long as you acknowledge why you might have favoritism towards certain things or certain people or certain devices, then I think it's okay. As long as you kind of disclose what's going on, I think it's okay. Let me know. Thomas is saying, macOS Sonoma, I just saw the FaceTime feature to put a picture or presentation behind the presenter while he's still visible without a green screen. Can it be used to record videos too? I don't know, but I have Sonoma on this MacBook Air now, and we're using continuity camera. I'm sure there's something that we could test with that and see what's going on. I haven't really played around with the Sonoma new stuff other than having a bit of, a few of the widgets on the screen, that kind of thing. But, I'll have a play around with it. Things like personal voice is quite annoying because I've created my personal voice. I cannot find a way to actually record my personal voice, which I would like to do for, like, maybe iCaveAnswers, like, read the questions out in my personal voice. It's pretty good. Does it sound exactly like me? No. You can tell it's not me. But it's pretty close. Yeah, it's not bad. Martin Kowalczyk. Hello. iCav Dave, could you mention how the work is going on Project 91? So Project 91 is kind of finished. We are going to have an update because I actually received some toys from a company called RayQ, who have created these hubs, I guess, USB hubs, and they've got like digital photo frames built into them, and they look exactly like the Macintosh, the classic, which is really cool. They arrived with me a couple of days ago. I have popped them out of their outer wrappings. The boxes are a little bit battered from the shipping, but yeah, it's good. Project 91 works. It was down at the Battersea Apple opening. Got a million pictures taken of it by Apple's own photographers, and the Apple Store staff were absolutely ecstatic about it. They were very, very excited to see it. And then it kind of, there was like a profile image of it in one of the pictures on Apple's website. You can see it. It's like the last picture on the Battersea opening on Apple's website. So I'm going to call that a win. I got on their website, so I'm there in my my sort of salmon Cupertino shirt. But yeah, it works. It's good. It's got the iPad screen in it. I like it. Thomas Ravenstein is saying, is the new Journal app already on the beta? No, it looks like the Journal app is going to be a little bit later down the line when Apple releases that. I'm not quite sure why, but maybe they're trying to keep it as a bit of a surprise for the iPhone release event. Maybe that's what they're doing, but I have a feeling it's just not ready yet. So it might be towards Christmas. But no, on the betas we haven't got to play with it yet, which is sad. Michael Moy is saying, running shoe reviewers get some shoes for free and they buy their own. They provide full disclosure and state that you get their true review. I take them at their word. Yeah, that's definitely the case in the majority of cases with tech stuff as well. But at the same time, if a reviewer for running shoes gets sent like 14 pairs of Reeboks in their size, in various different things, regardless of whether they're objectively reviewing stuff, they're gonna have some good feelings towards the company that sent them 14 pairs of shoes. Is that not probably the case? They might not be intentionally, shilling, but are you going to be really rough on the company that sent you a bunch of shoes for no cost that probably cost, I don't know, 80 bucks a pair, something like that. I don't know. Is there going to be something in the back of your mind that's like, I'm going to be kind because if I'm not, then I'm not going to get free shoes again? Depends how big the channel is, I think. That's part of the problem. My Little Pimo says, I feel like Apple was a lot better about repairability and open source, open standards, closed implementation under Jobs, and pulled back after. Do you think this perception is fair? Steve was the one that pulled out a bunch of upgradability ports that would have otherwise been in the original Macintoshes. Wozniak definitely wanted those, and Steve was like, no, make them pay for stuff. So I think it's difficult to say, yeah, he was all about the open source stuff. I think what happened was when he came back to Apple, they needed to use a bunch of open source stuff and thought, let's be good about this so that we don't get horrendous criticism for reusing it. But yeah, I wouldn't say that Steve Jobs was in any way some sort of open source advocate. He was also the one that put DRM into iTunes music and stuff like that, MP3s. But that was the only way that they could get these tracks from the music companies, and that's kind of what took music from being the Napster generation to the buy by the track 99 cents thing, and then moved on to streaming. So, there's interesting it could be on both sides there. I think back to Under the Keyboard, iBook RAM upgrades and Jobs promised to keep open source FaceTime protocol. Yeah, that's true. I mean, they said they wanted to make it an industry standard. I think at that point, though, Skype was kind of the big one, which was Microsoft owned. And I think what basically happened was it was kind of, Skype. And then you've got Google Chat, and you've got, what are the other stuff that you've got? There's Zoom and all that sort of stuff at the minute. So I think there's quite a lot of free open source options if you want one. I think that FaceTime itself, I think they probably very much did intend to open source it, and then there was just so many other options that it didn't make sense to put the extra work in. But yeah, it's a very good point. I kind of had forgotten about that one. Martin says, a bit of non-Apple curio, the Wintergaren from Marble Machine is building a new one using CAD and engineering worth, I have no idea what this is. You're going to have to help me with this. Marble Machine? I don't know. I'm confused now. Sorry. I am going to keep this a little bit shorter than normal because I have a feeling that my camera's going to die horribly on me. It doesn't have a huge amount of battery at this point, so we will not stress it too hard. We'll not try and keep it going for too long. But if you have any more questions, throw them down in the chat now, and we will get through everyone's questions before we move on. I'm going to be away this weekend. I am doing a stag do, which is, I guess, bachelor party for any Americans, for a friend. So we're going to be out of action this weekend. I have got some interesting new products to show you. Not mine, obviously, but some stuff that's been sent to me, so that's going to be good fun. He built a machine that plays songs using bearings. Look it up on YouTube. Big video. Okay, so it's I think I know what we're talking about now. Yeah, where the marbles hit stuff and it plays the notes. That makes sense. It's kind of like a xylophone-y kind of thing as they go through. I think I know the one. I think I've seen it. What are your thoughts on iOS 17? I really like it. I've had no issues with it. It doesn't feel that different, but at the same time, I haven't used iOS 16 since. Although I'm using that on my work phone, I guess it doesn't really feel that different. There's a couple of changes with AirDrop and stuff. At the minute, AirDrop is a little bit unstable, I found, but I can work around that. I'm sure it'll be fixed before the proper release anyway. My Little Pimo, odds on ray tracing in the iPhone 15 Pro. I think it's pretty good. I think ray tracing in the 15 Pro and the M3 is likely. And I also don't think that we're going to be getting M2 in the actual Vision Pro when it releases. I think by that time we will have M3 on the market, and I'm pretty sure that M3 will go into the final release version of it. I think the M2 will be in this developer's kit that we have right now, very much like we had A12Z in the Apple Silicon transition kit, and then we had M1 released. So I think that's probably what's going to happen with that. I don't think they're going to release an M2 version of the Vision Pro to the public. I think M2 is for that developer's kit. And hopefully if the M3 does have the ray tracing, then that will make a lot of difference if you are using that headset. Thomas Rabenstein is saying, a quick side note, I just read Musk is going to delete blocking function on X. Yeah, I also read that, and I also read that he legally cannot because Apple won't let them keep it on the App Store if you can't block people. So that's a fun little bit of trivia for you. Evan Rogers, any update on AirPods this fall? Oh, sorry, I did see that you'd asked that earlier. So AirPods, I think if we are going to get any, it's going to be the AirPods Max. That's been 3 years now since their last update, which makes the most sense. AirPods 3rd gen were like a year and a half ago, and AirPods Pro were obviously this year, earlier in the year. So I think, or last year was it? I don't know. It was late last year or early this year. I can't remember. But yeah, I think AirPods Max is the only one that's up for an update, and it will probably be colours, USB-C, maybe lighter, maybe a new headband. I think the ear cups will stay the same, but maybe the headband might change because there seems to be a few people where that's wearing out. So that's my thoughts. Little Pimo, I was thinking the same. It would be very weird for Apple Vision not to have ray tracing, what the MacBooks do. Yeah, and if it's in the base like M3, it makes no sense not to put M3 into the Vision. That would make the most sense. Also, Martin Kowalczyk is saying, space news, Luna 25 lands on the moon in 2 days and races the Chandrayaan 3 lander. Oh yeah, okay. So Russia has managed to land Luna 25. I mean, it's only taken them 60 some odd years to actually make it to the moon and land properly without crashing. That's good. Yeah. Evan Rogers, AP3 were 2 years ago, AirPods 3 were 2 years ago, and maybe next fall with a node shrink on the chipset. I don't think a node shrink is going to make any real difference to AirPods, if I'm completely honest. I don't think there's enough juice going through those chips for a node shrink to make much difference in terms of battery life on that sort of thing. But I could be wrong. But yeah, I think AirPods Max is the one that I think might get an update. I think we're going to wrap this up in like 5 minutes, guys, because my camera is definitely on its last legs. Any more questions and we will rattle through them. Space news. Is there a new season for All Mankind in the works? I think so. I believe so. My guy Sigmund Judge, who I met up with at the Apple Battersea opening, would know what's going on there. But yeah, I don't. My phone is ringing, so I'm going to have to end this one, guys. Thank you so much. I will catch you in the next one.